Hey there guys, this is Sam
and Justin
at the Survival Review, and today we are going to be talking about episode 11 of The Return to Twin Peaks. What an episode it was.
Yeah, whereas the last episode was like, pretty just its own pace, nothing too special, but fine, just nice. This episode just goes nuts.
Yeah, this episode picked up the pace.
Yeah.
It went by so quick.
Oh my god, yeah.
It felt like it was 25 minutes into the episode and the credits were rolling.
Yeah, it was insane. Because this episode begins with these kids playing catch, throwing the ball back and forth. When they see a body lying in the grass,
yes,
they approach it and you find out it's the girl that we thought Richard Horne killed.
Yeah, I mean, did we have any reason to think that she lived through that?
We saw her laying there in a pool of blood.
With gas, flowing through the room, so it's just she's dead.
But we see her crawling, there's blood all over her face.
These kids are terrified, they're like, get mom, oh my god, there's a zombie in the woods, what is this? It's a really kind of creepy start to the episode.
Oh yeah. And then the show just kicks it into gear.
Straight away.
Yes. Because you see Becky, she gets this phone call, and then she's just like, oh my god, no way, I cannot believe that happened. And then she's, oh my god, I don't have a car. And she just hangs up, calls her mom, she's like, I need your car, I need to go to her boyfriend character, who we thought was her boyfriend, and I need to go get him. She takes a gun out, she walks outside, runs outside her trailer, and her mom pulls up, Shelly pulls up, and she gets out of the car to approach her daughter, and instead she just runs past her, gets in the car,
locks the door to the car,
and
starts driving off with Shelly on the hood of the car.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, this just turned into an action film, and Shelly Johnson's hanging on, and you're like, oh my gosh, what's happening?
It was insane.
It's the most ridiculous thing, and it came out of nowhere almost.
Yeah.
It was like,
we're 2 minutes into the episode and just
action. It's just like, man, it's just punching right into it.
So Becky drives off, and Harry Dean Stanton approaches Shelly. She's like, hey, what's going on? And she's like, oh, we need a car. So he calls for his car, the little Volkswagen van.
And he drives them at a fine pace, I guess.
Yeah.
Back to the Double R Diner.
Yeah, and Shelly goes, I need to call Bobby Briggs.
Mm-hmm.
And, he gets on the radio and says Shelly Briggs in the car next to me.
So it's confirmed that they are married, or at least, they're married.
They were, at least. Because we'll get to that in a second. So we were both like, oh, they're married. That's so wonderful.
Sweet.
That's great.
That's cute. It's adorable. I love those two.
So you see Becky, she gets to this hotel room, and she's just slamming at the door trying to get her boyfriend's attention. The lady comes over the next door and goes, he's gone. He's left.
Gone. Stop knocking. You're obnoxious.
So goes, okay, I'll be more obnoxious. And she shoots at the door.
She shoots 6 bullets into the door.
Yeah, and you see her boyfriend character hiding in these bottom steps with another girl.
Yes.
She's like, okay, I see where it's going. Yeah. And then we cut to Bobby, Becky, and Shelly at the diner. And they're talking and they're discussing what's happening, what's going on. And she goes, come on, you're married. And we're just like, oh.
She literally says, we know you're a grown married woman. And we're like, we didn't.
Yeah.
We thought she was just a kid that's I don't know.
So they're married, apparently now.
Yeah, the kids and Shelly. We didn't know she was married either.
Yeah.
And that's when, during that scene, out of nowhere, this guy approaches the window.
And it's the drug dealer from earlier.
And Shelly gets all excited. It runs outside and starts kissing him right in front of Bobby.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my god, you're breaking his heart,
I know,
Shelly.
it's so terrible.
And
then where it's like, oh, I guess they're not together. Because the scene started out, I thought that was so adorable, having Bobby and Shelly talking to their... I mean, I know it's about a serious subject, about a terrible husband, but it was them at a diner talking to them, like, everything worked out for them.
And then it didn't.
No, not at all.
Which fits, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, you can... That's the kind of thing where it's like, yeah, I guess that wouldn't have worked out.
Yeah.
But
it's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate.
You saw Bobby got his act together and became a cop, so you're just like, yay, everything's gonna be good now, but not really. Yeah, but they're talking about her husband and stuff, and saying hey, if he ever hits you or anything, I'm just gonna go arrest him and just flat out arrest him. And I've seen Bobby like that,
he's just like, I'm the dad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lay this law on this dude if he lays a finger on you.
Yeah, that was great.
I love him.
And then all of a sudden a bullet comes in.
Yeah, 2 bullets shoot into the Del R Diner, and Bobby's like, "Everybody get down!"
Yeah, he goes full like action cop mode.
He
like,
goes outside.
Norma shuts off the light, so it's all dark and dramatic. He's like running out with this gun, and he's like, "Oh God, what is going on?"
And they go outside, and the shooter is a child with a revolver that his dumb parents left in the back seat of their van.
Yeah, and they're just in the middle of traffic, a bunch of cars behind them just honking their horns at the stopped van.
And Bobby is like trying to get like the situation back in order.
And like the wife, the wife is yelling at the husband, just like, "Why would you do this?" It's like, "I wouldn't let the kid in the back seat if I knew there was a gun in there." And they're just yelling and screaming.
And Bobby like gets the gun from them.
Yeah, he has a weird moment where he just kind of watches the kid who's just standing there.
Yeah.
And kind of looks at the dad and knows how they're kind of like similar.
Yeah.
And they kind of they're just like looking at each other. It's really weird.
It's bizarre, but cool.
Yeah. But then
all throughout this, the person right behind this van that crashed into the van when they stopped is honking. Non-stop. They're honking their horn. And Bobby is like trying to explain this to another officer who comes, who heard the shots.
Anton Yeltsin officer.
Yeah. who says he was at Big Ed's.
Yeah.
Which is...
We were like, yay!
We haven't seen Big Ed yet, but we were like, oh my God.
Yeah.
They mentioned him. And so he's trying to explain to him, and he's just like, I'm going to go and talk to this lady who's honking her horn. And it leads to, I think, my favorite scene in the entire series so far.
Yes, I love this scene. We could not stop laughing.
This scene was so good. He goes up to the window of the car, and the lady is nuts, and she's like, "What are you doing? We're late for the... Yeah, her uncle hasn't seen them in a very long time, and we're gonna be late, and we had a meal planned," and she's just totally nuts. And Bobby hasn't like even said a word. He's just like dumbfounded by how nuts this lady is.
Yeah.
And as she says this, she says, "And she's sick!" And you're like, "Who's sick?" And you look in the passenger seat, and this like body rises up, and it's like
this kid
who's oozing vomit from their mouth.
Yeah. And she's like going over the
rising from the ground. And the lady is just going, "Ah! Ah!"
Because like the kid's like getting closer and closer to her, and she's
screaming. She just keeps screaming, almost at like the same rhythm she was honking the horn of the car.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous.
And Bobby's just staring at all this.
It's just like, what in the fuck is going on? And I could not stop laughing. The lady who was driving that car was wonderful.
Oh yeah.
The image of that kid with it was creepy and weird, and like
everything just was amazing.
It was so good.
Oh, it was the best.
I absolutely loved that moment, and that's gonna be a highlight of the series.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I don't even know if it's gonna tie into anything. I don't care if it does. But it was great.
So that's that scene.
Yes.
We move on to Cole and Rosenfield and their investigation. And they pull up to this kind of area. And that's the area where Matthew Lillard told them is where he saw Briggs, Major Briggs. So they pull up. There's also the guy who runs the police station. And Matthew Lillard in the other car.
Diane's
there. And... if we thought last week's episode wasn't that weird,
this is where it gets kind of weird.
It was already getting weird with the scene with Briggs, with the Bobby in the car. This is where it gets totally insane.
Yeah.
First thing they do is they see a weird person kind of fade in, walk a few steps, and fade out.
And it's one of the like homeless ghost hobos.
Ghost hobos.
That's what we're calling them.
Yeah.
And they're kind of wandering about, and even Diane sees one of them.
Yeah.
They go into this area, and Cole walks about the distance that Matthew Lillard's character said to go, and he starts to notice, like, the sky is, like, spinning.
Yeah.
And it's becoming, like, a vortex, and it's spinning and spinning, and...
he starts, like, reaching to it, and, like...
reaching, and Rosenfield is noticing things are looking weird. The people who are further back, Diane, like, she's just seeing...
Yeah, just to a wide shot, all you see is Cole just going.
He's just, it's pretty funny. Then you see what he's seeing, and as this vortex gets bigger and bigger and bigger, it becomes clear, and you see an image of three of these ghost hobos.
They're on the stairwell, and it looks almost like the stairwell in the Palmer house.
Yeah.
And it's a very brief shot, but that's what he sees.
But they're in a room, and that's what he sees, and that's what he remembers. And it looks like he's going to get sucked in, and then Rosenfield grabs him.
Yeah, he pulls him out before it's, like, too late.
So
That happened.
that happened, and before the scene, if you think that's weird, then Diane sort of sees one of these ghost hobos kind of sneaking up on the car, which both of us thought it was just a creepy image.
It was terrifying.
It was weird.
His eyes were kind of glowing a little bit, like.
I don't
No,
know,
like
those
how
ghost
could they
hobos-
make an image that takes place in broad daylight that terrifying? I don't know, but they did.
It's creepy.
There was a creepy shot in like the whole episode.
And he sneaks up to the car, and Matthew Lillard's head explodes.
Basically, you just see the cop in the front seat just blood sprays on his head.
And he just goes, "Oh my god!"
Send backup! Send backup!
And Diane's like, "There's no backup for this."
No. And then they call on Roosevelt in the car. They see his head.
What
just, like,
happened?
they see his head all messed up.
And one of the best lines in the episode is Cole just goes, "He's dead."
Yeah.
Great observation.
So bye Matthew Lillard. That was fun.
He's dead.
And then they do find in that same area the dead body, just this dead body missing a head, and it's the woman whose head was found next to Major Briggs's body. So they find the body, and on its arm is these coordinates. And Rosenfield takes a picture of those coordinates.
Yes.
And then later on, they're in like the police station discussing the coordinates and stuff. Of course, Diana's trying to find a way to smoke in there.
Yes.
And of course, Rosenfield's like, smoking's bad for you. And he just goes, I know
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Rosenfield. One thing is Diane was obviously she was like trying to peek at those coordinates. She was like looking at them and observing. So she's something going on with Diane.
Yeah.
We're not fully sure what yet. Obviously, she got the text from Doppelcooper, and there's something there. And Rosenfield was aware of that in the scene. He noticed she was looking.
That's the Cole stuff, which is weird-ass stuff, but it was wonderful. So we cut back to Twin Peaks, and Hawk and Truman are discussing the map that they have, and the coordinates they got and everything about that. And they discuss, they talk about how there's, black fire.
Yeah, and how just what each of these things on this map represents and what they're heading towards. And
they show, the spot where they last saw Major Briggs and everything.
And how there's the symbol that was on the note that they got from the little device thing that was in Briggs's house. That symbol is on there. Truman asks Hawk what it means, and he's like, "You don't want to know what that means." And so it means something bad. Something scary, spooky.
And Lucy calls on the intercom, telling that she has a call on line 1. And of course she goes, "That's the beeping button when I hang up."
That's the beeping button when I hang up.
And Hawk is just like, yeah, thank you.
I don't think anyone sighs more than Hawk.
No.
Hawk and Truman, they've got a lot of sighing.
Yeah. And the person on the other line is the log lady.
Yes.
Again, nice to see her.
It's always good to see her.
And she talks about how her log does not like fire.
Yes, and that there's fire where they are going.
Yes. And she just keeps warning about that. There's fire where you are going. She just keeps saying that. It's just building up to the journey that Truman and Hawk have ahead of them of figuring out what this all means and how it all connects. Yeah. And then also in that scene, the Anton Yelchin cop, I swear we're just going to call him from now on because I don't know his name. He knocks on the door and just goes to Truman. It's like, "Hey, can I show you the new car I got?"
You want to see my new car? And he's like, "I'm in a meeting. Can I look at your new car tomorrow?"
Can you look at it tomorrow? He's like, "Okay."
"Oh, that's fine. Thank you."
Close the door.
Okay.
And then the bulk of the last half of this episode revolves around Dougie and the Mitchum brothers.
Yes, which is where things get really interesting.
Yeah.
I love this portion of the episode.
I liked the Mitchum brothers in the previous episodes. They were fun, but I didn't really start liking them until this one.
Yes. Basically, they just want to kill Dougie.
Yeah.
They started off where the John Belushi, I don't know the character's name.
Yeah.
He is just dying.
Oh, he is, yeah.
He's talking about how last night he dreamed about killing Dougie.
Yeah, they wake up and you see them eating cereal.
Yeah.
And just Jim Belushi walks up to him and just goes, I want to kill him.
I want to kill him. Can you wait 3 more hours? Oh, barely. He's just so ready to kill him.
Dead.
I can't even eat the cereal.
Yeah. He forces him. I can't eat this.
I can't even eat this Raisin Bran Crunch. Oh my god.
And just leaves.
And just leaves.
And then we cut to Dougie, who's in the office with his boss. And he's like, "I can't believe all the stuff you've done. You found out all this corruption and police corruption that's been going on in our system." So that's all the stuff that Dougie found out in the previous episodes. That's what that whole episode with him drawing ladders was.
And it's great that you discovered that it wasn't actually arson and it was a legitimate claim.
Yeah.
So now we can give them this $30 million check.
Yeah.
Which is like, oh wow, that's kind of ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
But whatever.
So it's like, oh, they're going to meet up with you. You're going to meet up with them at like 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
So he walks him downstairs outside to go meet up with them.
Yeah. And as that happens, Dougie happens to notice the one-armed man kind of luring him over, come this way.
Yeah.
And he's luring him to a pie shop, we find out.
Yeah.
Basically, Dougie goes into the limousine.
Yeah.
And they take him off to the desert where they're planning on killing him.
Yeah.
But when he gets there, he's holding this big box.
Yeah.
And John Belushi's like, this is what I saw in my dream. This is what happened.
Yeah, well, first he's like, in my dream, like, you didn't have that cut on your face from candy.
Yeah, it was fully healed.
And they rip off the Band-Aid and it's fully healed. Mm-hmm. He's like, oh.
And then, oh my gosh.
Once they get out of the car and Dougie walks out of the box, he goes, in my dream, you had that box.
He had that box. If what is in that box is what I think is in that box, then we can't kill him.
And it's this big thing of him just like holding, he's like, we can't kill him if that is it.
Because then he's not our enemy. He's
so
just
one
like,
in a million shot. And all of a sudden, the bad Mission Brother, or the bad one, takes out his gun and it's just like, tell me what's in that box. Is that a pie in that box?
Is that a cherry pie? And Dougie just goes, cherry pie.
And they walk over, open it up, and it's a cherry pie.
Cherry pie!
And he frisks them, and he finds the check.
And they love him now.
Yes.
Because how could you not love a guy who brings you $30 million and a cherry pie?
Exactly. And they treat him to dinner.
They treat him to dinner. They give him cherry pie.
Yeah. And of course they bring their girls over. And Candy, who's just, again, being weird.
She's just completely brain dead, I think.
Yeah, like
every time they try to get her attention, she's just like...
Yeah, and then it takes like 5 tries until she's like, oh, looks at him.
And then she finally responds and she's like, the traffic on this strip was ridiculous. There were cars everywhere.
Yeah.
And they're just like, Candy, what the fuck are you on?
Yeah, and the best part is that the Mission Brothers takes a bite out of the pie and
he goes, oh, this pie is so damn good.
Yeah.
And Dougie immediately goes, damn good. And it's just
yes.
It's great. It's perfect.
This dude's like, yeah, Dougie, partly there.
Yeah.
But like, oh, one thing I just forgot to mention, a really funny moment, was at the beginning of earlier when Dougie is going to talk to his boss in the office. The only way to actually get Dougie to walk into the office was the guy had to lure him in with coffee.
It's like a horse with like something hanging in front of his face.
Yeah.
He's got the coffee right in front of him. He's just like
gets in the office, picks up.
It's adorable.
It is.
That's pretty much where the episode ends.
Yeah.
It ends off on still music. It's just the guy playing piano at the restaurant where they're eating dinner. Mm-hmm. And cuts to credits. And I can honestly say, I think this might be my favorite episode so far. It's tough. It's tough to compare because every episode is really just completely different in tone. But this one just really... It hit me the right way.
Yeah.
I loved it. And it had some of the most memorable scenes, I think,
in
the entire series so far. I loved this episode.
Yeah, me too. It was so great.
Yeah.
It's like the last episode was kind of the developing the B storylines.
Yes.
And then this one was developing the A storylines.
Mm-hmm.
So I like these 2 episodes, I think, kind of complement each other. And I don't know what happens in the next one or how that one plays out. But these 2 episodes complement each other, that they're really plot progressive, and you really feel like things are like moving forward. And it's really great, especially you get to see more of these characters and everything. Especially a lot more stuff with Bobby and his family, which we didn't really know anything about that.
Yeah, it was just a lot of fun.
It was great.
I really enjoyed it.
Yes.
Now, as far as when we're going to do the next review,
yes,
the way that we're filming right now, it's kind of late, and I'm flying across country tomorrow.
Yeah, and it's like 1 a.m. right now.
So we don't have a lot of time to film or watch the episode 12. So our plan right now is to do both episode 12 and 13 next week when I get back from this trip that I'm going to be on.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we're going to have you guys waiting a little bit more.
Sorry about that, but you know, it happens.
Life gets in the way sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what's been happening the past 3 weeks.
Yeah, and we're not as far behind as we have been. And once he comes back and we do those 2 episodes, we're gonna make sure to be caught up
We're good.
until the end.
And yeah, as usual, we probably missed something. This episode, I think we got most of it.
I believe so.
I think we got most of
but
it.
we say that every week.
You will prove us wrong, and I love you guys for it.
Yeah. But we got the major stuff.
All the stuff that really is sticking with me.
Yeah. Or one thing I mentioned, that music in the beginning of the episode where Becky's on the phone.
Yeah.
It sounded right out of Nightmare on Elm Street.
It really did. Right off the bat, we were both like, "Oh my god, this is what? Did this become Nightmare on Elm Street?
Yeah.
Is this a slasher film now?"
I loved it. It was so intense.
It was. It added a lot to that scene.
Oh yeah, it just made it great.
But yeah, other than that, I don't think we forgot anything.
I don't believe so.
Until next week when we review episode 12
and 13.
we will see you guys later.